Thank you for watching part 1 of this podcast and welcome to part 2. Let's get on with it. A very interesting end to this conversation with Dmitry. Enjoy.
What was the outcome of for the first time? Betting time is open, ladies and gentlemen. What was it? A 1 or 2 Monopoly wheel? I don't remember. Yeah, sadly I don't remember. I remember that on my first, well, that was not the first spin, but it was one of the first spins. One of the first 10 spins in my life in Monopoly, I had a 2-roll. And I was like shocked that, well, like the bonus round started and I'm like, it's just standing and doing nothing. It was pretty cool. I was like, yo, I can go now, right? Yeah, that's a cool thing. 1.6, everybody. 6x. I'm not sure whether that was the first 2-roll with me or the second 2-roll with me, but one of them has been 0x. We had a 4 and 6, excuse me. Yeah, I remember that clearly. You bring me nostalgia, Mr. T.Y.T. What interview is this? Wow, it's a banger. Service. The host for episode 3 will be Arthur's. You get to choose a question for me to ask him. Fire away, man. Tell me question to ask Arthur's. What? What is the maximum? What is the oldest woman Arthur's can have an how do I put that? Arthur's can be laid with. Okay, let's put it that way. Cap age of women he'll be able to make it with, as he thinks. Okay, just Mamma mia. What do you remember of a young lad, Dmitrijs, starting his first days and getting to learn English, and how important it was looking back with hindsight? Starting his first days at getting to learn English specifically? Well, I don't know. Yeah, English for me, 2x by the way, level 3. English for me is a pretty interesting thing overall, because I don't feel like English is a language. Do you have this like feeling? I have no idea, because I don't feel like English has rules or something, because English is like international and there's tons of dialects. Like if you would look into Filipino type of English, the Latin English, the I don't know, some will be a good example. I don't know, like American English, British English. People talk however they want. They violate all the rules, not just like in everyday talk, in informal talk as well. And that's something that makes me feel bad, because people just put the words in one pile, because English doesn't have like strict rules. The word order is important, all the other things are not. Well, and the prepositions are important, because most of the time you don't understand. So there's like 2 things. Of course, there's more. Some English, how do you call those dudes? Well, some dude with a bachelor's degree in English would, of course, say that I'm talking trash, but most of the things are the word order and the prepositions. Those are 2 very important things you should always do correctly. And people don't do that. They just change the word order. Question doesn't start with a question word, doesn't matter, and all that. That feels pretty bad, because I've been like studying English at school really hard, and teachers been very strict. For some reason, English teachers at my school were super strict. I had around 6 English teachers throughout my whole career in school, throughout my whole studies in school. For 12 years, we have 12 years in school here in Latvia. And all of them been super strict for some reason. I have no idea why. Latvian teachers have been okay. They've been chill. Russian teachers, German teachers, but okay. But English teachers, they were super strict. 1.x, by the way, everybody, here's the green one. And that was kind of, English was pretty easy because I've been watching cartoons in English when I was super, super small. And at that point, I didn't really even realize that English is a language that people talk, because none of my family members been talking English at all. And when I was in kindergarten, we haven't had English there, absolutely. People have been talking Latvian and Russian. most of the time. Well, they've been, yeah. English was like, I haven't seen even English words. And I was watching Bugs Bunny, Ed, Edd n Eddy, Dexter's Lab, all that stuff in English. And I thought that's the language the dudes in cartoon are talking. Like, that's their like imaginary language or something. And then I watched, what was the cartoon's name? Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. And over there's been like kids with their imaginary friends that they have left or they have not been allowed to keep because of the parents. The plot is absolutely weird. Doesn't make any, well, that does make sense, but yeah. And over there, boys and girls been coming over there to that foster home in order to talk to their imaginary friends and spend their time. And they've been doing that in English. And that was like a blink in my head. I was like, yeah, legit. That's what I thought about. Like, this is the cartoon's language. Cartoon characters to talk in this language. That's the thing. Wow, super cool. I'm living in this universe. And my English at the time was very, very bad. And there's been another dude in my kindergarten who was also talking English because he learned it from cartoons, and that was crazy. My mind was blowing. I was like, what, dude, you know this thing? And he's like, yes. I'm like, wow. We've been talking like half Russian, half English with him. And I was like, yo, what? My mind got blown. And then I went to school, and at the third grade, I believe, we had English subject. And I was like, wait, what? So, you, Dmitrijs, we're going on with your life, made you make contact with Evo for the first time and an interview, etc., etc. Tell me more about it. About what exactly, Mr. T.Y.T? Well, how I get this job? Well, it's all completely simple. Just there's been people working on here. I mean, my friends, people. And yeah, I got to know about this job. You know, when you're going to the university, you want some money. You know, when you're studying at a university, you just don't want to sit home and on a Friday night you want to go with your friends at the bar and not ask your mommy to give you money for a cocktail or something, right? You want to be a little more independent in your life. And I have new people who've been working here already, and they said like, yo, Dmitry, don't you want to work over here? It's a cool place. I'm like, yes. And just, yeah, then it just went like any other job. You send your CV, your motivation letter. Probably I wasn't even sending a motivation letter. I don't remember, to be honest. And yeah, they call you back, say, yo, dude, you wanted to apply? I'm like, yeah, sure, babe. Well, that's a little, I'm exaggerating a little bit, of course. Yeah, sure, pal. And yeah, they arrange you the interview. They make sure you're an adequate person. Because that's most of the time what they're doing on interviews. They make sure that you're adequate, you know, some basic stuff, that you're a human being. And that you were capable of doing, you know, basic things, that you're responsible, at least somehow. So yeah, and yeah, they tell you how the things look over here, how they work, this and that. You get the mic, yeah, it's been a very, very nice experience to actually be on this podcast. Thank you very much. I hope this podcast will get a lot of new followers, and our T.Y.T podcast community will grow, etc., etc. So yeah, thank you very much for listening to this. Thank you very much for being over here. It's been a pleasure, ladies and gentlemen. Stay healthy, drink a lot of water, consume vitamin D. It's very important nowadays. And of course, see you at some other time on the other podcast on this lovely channel. Leave your thoughts in the comments. We want to have here next, and hopefully this guest will get over here. Put your likes down there. Subscribe to the channel, put the bell icon button to get your notifications.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Dmitry, for your availability. The next host for episode 3 will be Artur. Most of you should know Artur. Episode 3 will air on the 12th of October, next Wednesday. Thanks for watching. The chat with Dmitry was very interesting, and the chat with Artur will be equally interesting. I have no doubts about it. See you next week for episode 3 of the T.Y.T podcast, available exclusively on Trump Casino 2020.